Russian authorities are expressing concern over the potential consequences of the return home of thousands of soldiers and former prisoners who fought in the war against Ukraine. According to the Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence Service, Moscow acknowledges that demobilization could lead to a surge in crime and the destabilization of the very system built around Putin. According to Ukrainian intelligence, the Kremlin is already drawing parallels with the 1990s, when Afghan war veterans formed gangs and criminal groups. Today, the situation could repeat itself, only on a much larger scale. The Kremlin estimates that veterans could become a catalyst for criminal and political destabilization, capable of undermining the system built around personal loyalty to Putin, the statement said. The reasons for concern are quite obvious. Among those returning from the front, many have suffered severe psychological trauma or have a history of violence. Added to this is the striking contrast between the pay they received at the front and the poverty of everyday life. Salaries and bonuses during the war are several times higher than the average Russian income. Returning to a reality of low wages and a devastated economy, many veterans could become the source of a new social upheaval. The situation is exacerbated by the fact that tens of thousands of convicts have been drafted into the army. According to the Russian Penitentiary Service, between 120,000 and 180,000 prisoners have been mobilized. A significant number of them have already returned to the cities, and with them, the number of serious crimes has risen sharply. Since 2023 alone, nearly 1,000 cases of murder and beating resulting in death have been filed with Russian military courts. The number of convictions for such crimes has been growing annually, from 38 in 2022 to 377 in the first 9 months of 2025 alone. Instead of addressing the problem, the authorities chose the familiar path of intensifying repression. The penitentiary service was authorized to more actively use special means against prisoners: batons, stun guns, water cannons, and even service dogs. Formally, this was to protect the staff, but in reality, it was to suppress those who no longer feared the authorities. Ukrainian intelligence estimates that the return of people accustomed to violence and impunity could become an internal time bomb for the Kremlin. If at the beginning these veterans were the support of the regime, then over time they could become the force that will destroy Russia from within. Analysts note.
France is in the grips of a deep political crisis following the resignation of the country's latest prime minister as the nation waits for President Emmanuel Macron's next move. But Macron, now at record-low approval ratings, has not indicated what he'll do next as his former allies appear to be deserting him one after another. His rivals, meanwhile, have suggested three options: resign, call new elections, or appoint a prime minister from outside his political camp. The latest crisis erupted with the abrupt resignation on Monday of Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu, Macron's fourth prime minister since the dissolution, after Gabriel Attal, Michel Barnier and François Bayrou. French political scientist Nicole Baccarin didn't mince words in an interview with the Associated Press. "This is a huge mess, unlike any France has seen since 1958 and the new constitution," she said. Indeed, after accepting Lecornu's resignation, Macron then gave his 39-year-old ally another 48 hours to hold more final negotiations in the interest of national stability, an apparent last-ditch effort to find some sort of exit to the latest impasse, and by the French leader some time to decide on his next step. But the weight and the impact of this upheaval is taking a heavy toll, said Baccarin. Not having a real government is full of nasty consequences, especially economically, she said. Because as you know, the fiscal situation in France is a disaster. The president can dissolve parliament if a deal can't be clinched soon and can even resign. Baccarin, for her part, doesn't believe Macron is the kind of leader who will throw in the towel. I don't see him resigning, however, it doesn't seem in character one way or the other, she said. Baccarin does not know if Macron has a wild card he's yet to play up his sleeve, but she does not think Macron would choose to appoint a prime minister from the left-wing parties despite their arguments that he should share power.
This is a huge mess, unlike any France has seen since 1958 and the new constitution. It's completely out of any experience, any rule, any familiarity with anything. In terms of having a government, basically, in the coming days, there is no constitutional rule about it. It can take more time. It can be shorter and collapse. We have no idea. Your work is made easy and comfortable, and the students are wonderful.
Smart.
But anybody could come. They came from various sections, economy or you know. Not having a real government is full of nasty consequences, especially economically. Because as you know, the fiscal situation in France is a disaster. And the quotations of France's sovereign debt is going down, and the euro has tumbled because of France for the whole eurozone. So not making decisions for not having a government is a pretty risky thing to do. However, President Macron has used us to, he likes to surprise people. He likes to have a move that nobody predicted. I don't know if he has more up his sleeve that he hasn't tried yet. In terms of him resigning, I think it's more, honestly, a psychological matter than a political decision. I'm not a psychologist. I don't see him resigning, however. Doesn't seem in character, one way or the other. So dissolving might be a way out, considering that most probably the results of an eventual next National Assembly wouldn't be very different. People haven't changed their mind much, but we would expect a stronger push from the extreme right, in which case it would offer to President Macron a possibility to surprise people again by choosing a prime minister from the extreme right. It's not impossible.